welcome to my December TBR, which is everybody's favorite time of the month because it means we get to play a TBR game. We will be playing my TBR game, Snakes and TBR Stacks, which is a Snakes and Ladders inspired TBR game. It's pretty simple. I roll 5 times. If I hit a snake, I have to add another book and another roll. If I hit a ladder, it's kind of like a reward prompt and I go up. That's literally all you need to know. My plans for December are probably a lot different than other people's. I feel like a lot of people are getting into like the Christmas spirit and reading like Christmas or winter themed books. But starting last year, December every year for me has been what I like to call SPFBO month. My goal for December is to read all 9 of the SPFBO books that I need to read and get my vlogs out there. If you don't know what SPFBO is, I actually do have a video all about it, but it is essentially a self-published fantasy blog off hosted every single year by Mark Lawrence. There's like 300 books that get narrowed down. We're in the finalist part of the competition where the judges, I am one of them, has to read all 10 of the books, but one we've already read because we picked it as our finalist, and give our scores and reviews on that. And we have a leaderboard. It's on Mark Lawrence's page. I will link that down below. So other than that, I have literally 0 plans besides the one book club I'm a part of in December. Pretty much you're gonna see me try to shove SPFBO books onto this Snakes and Ladders TBR. I hope that the Snakes and Ladders gods are looking down favorably upon me so that I can get some of these books on my TBR. Okay, last month we ended on Blurbed, so we're gonna start there with a roll 1. 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our first is friend pick. Of course, the Snakes and TBR Stacks gods do not like me. They gave me friend to pick, which is normally one of my most loved prompts. I love being able to ask a friend to send me a book that they want me to read. I love reading my friends' favorites. I love when I get to gush about their favorites with them. So normally I love this prompt. This month, however, I have SPFBO books to read. I'm a little worried. I'm hoping it's not a chunker. I asked Maria from Maria Might Read That to give me a book. And now at the time of recording this, I've just sent her the message and she's agreed. I'm worried she's gonna give me this one, which I really want to read. Like, I'm really excited to read this, and this will probably be on my 24 and 2024 list. But look at the size of that. Like, this is what I think she's gonna give me. But I also could see her being nice and giving me a SPFBO book, because she knows I prioritize those in December. Okay, I'm at NYX, but Maria has sent me her pick, and I haven't edited this video yet, so I'm gonna watch it and then get back to you with a reaction.
Hi Cassidy, for your friend pick for your December TBR, I'm giving you Empire of Exiles by Aaron M. Evans. This is a book that I read this year and I really liked, and I think it's a setup to a great series that has a lot of really fun potential. This is a genre hybrid, so we have like a political epic fantasy meets a murder mystery thriller, and in this world you have a lot of different races and cultures that were forced to come behind this wall and barrier when there was an apocalyptic threat, so you have a lot of different culture clashes, and there was a failed coup to try and take over power of the empire. And then you flash forward to our main storyline where the main character is sent to retrieve a magical artifact from the archive and finds himself kind of embroiled in events to do with this past coup, as well as he witnesses a murder, and what he's saying happened, nobody believes him, so he kind of takes it upon himself to investigate. I thought it was a really fun, fast-paced story with a lot of really unique elements. The world building definitely doesn't handhold, but I know you've read A Touch of Light and you liked that, so I don't think you'll have any problems with this, and I'm just excited to see what you think.
I should have seen that coming. I didn't, but Maria is one of the main reasons that Empire of Exiles was even on my radar to begin with, so I should have seen it coming, and I am excited for this one. It's not as chunky of Mask of Mirrors, so that's good. And it is one that I'm really excited to get to and I want to try, but it's probably not one that I would have prioritized, so not as scary as I thought it would be. Thanks, Maria! Roll 2. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is not what I wanted. Roll number 2 also came for me. It's sci-fi. I am reading books for a self-published fantasy blog off. How did I get sci-fi? Like, I cannot fit a sci-fi in there. But then I remembered all the reviews I've seen that said this book was genre bending, and I went to look on Goodreads to see what people are usually shelving this book as, and they are shelving it as sci-fi and dystopian. It also hits fantasy. I think it's a very genre bend. So I'm gonna count it and I'm gonna do a little bit of stretching. And I'm gonna pick The Fall Is All There Is by C.M. Kaplan. This was Becky's finalist pick and I am nervous and excited to read this. I have read the first chapter of this. I did a ranking SPFBO predictions off of the first chapter video a couple videos back that you could check out. I ranked this one pretty high, so I am excited about it, but I am nervous because I've heard that it's really weird. And sometimes weird can lose me, but sometimes weird can really work for me. So I am still excited about it. Like, the first line of this synopsis is, when you flee home on a cyborg horse the exact second you turn 18, you don't really expect to go back to the place you fled from, you know? But sometimes your old life hits you from behind. I'm so intrigued, but like, I'm just unsure of what to expect from this. I know that the king is ordering our main character back for a high-stakes family reunion, and she left for some reason, so there's definitely going to be tension. I think there's going to be some political maneuvering, and I think the world building is going to be really weird and crazy and sci-fi-ish, so I am excited because I do like a genre blend normally. The weird is just not what I'm sure about, but I am excited that I could get this on the TBR. Roll 3. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the next roll, we landed on map, which is one of my favorite prompts on the board because I don't read a lot of books that don't have maps in them, specifically fantasy books. So this one was quite easy for me, and I could get a SPFBO book on, so I think the board game gods were liking me again. Look at this very pretty map that is in the Wickwire Watch. The Weather Wax Report picked as their finalist. This one really surprised me in my first chapter prediction video, and I got really excited to read this one. I thought the first chapter was very engaging, so I'm really excited to see what journey I go on throughout this story. I just know there's something about a pocket watch with strange magic that leads to this man having things happen to him. And that's pretty much all I know about this. I'm going into SPFBO books quite blind just because I had to read them anyways. They're picked for me as a judge. It's not like I'm getting to pick them. So I think that having a blind experience with them is probably the best way for me to go. So sorry if my synopsis aren't the best. Roll 4. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A sexy cover. And our fourth roll of the board, I can't believe we haven't hit a snake yet, is sexy cover, which is again one of my favorite prompts because I feel like this is just a square on the board where I get to shout about covers I literally love. For this one I will be picking The Last Ranger by J.D.L. Russell, and I just love this cover. I love like the watercolor elements to this cover with like the dragon and then the person, and I just think it all flows together, and I just think good artwork is so sexy. So like really this is just a prompt where I tell you I love a cover, so I think it's sexy, because I feel like sexy is just a really good way to summarize things. Like, who doesn't want to be called sexy? Who doesn't want a thing to be called sexy? Like this? Sexy. My phone? Sexy. Anything can be sexy. It's just a term of endearment. I know nothing about this book. The Last Ranger was the finalist pick for Fantasy Book Critic, and my friend Esme is on that team, and I really trust Esme's reviews. She's been telling me since she read this that I'm probably going to love this. I'm really excited. The first chapter was really odd, but really intriguing. I know we're following our main character who is like the ranger that like wards off the forest from spirits. That's pretty much all I know. I think there's something about her having like a lot of power that she didn't ask for and things like that, but I don't know a lot about this. I just know I literally love this cover, and I really hope that I love the book just as much. And our hopefully last roll, I'm pretty safe from snakes, I think. Roll 5. 11. Maybe I'm not so safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Elemental. We hit no snakes. I don't know why the board has been so nice to me in terms of snakes lately, but we did hit Elemental, which I think that the only Elemental SPFBO book is Master of the Void. This would have counted, but this was my finalist pick, which means I've already read it, so I'm not reading it this month, so it can't go on the TBR. And maybe one of the other ones is Elemental, but from like what I know about them, I hadn't really seen anything Elemental. I was like, maybe this one, because it is called The Last Ranger and there's like a forest, but I picked it for sexy cover already, so, you know. However, I have a book club called Backlist Book Club that just announced their next series, and we are reading book 1 in December, so I did have to get The Girl in the Stars on this list anyways, and this is book 1 of the Book of the Ice series. I think that that counts enough for me as Elemental. I have read this, so I do know that like the snow and the ice plays such a huge part of the story. It's not necessarily elemental magic, but I definitely allow some flexibility within my prompts. I think that reading should be enjoyable, and as a mood reader, I just like to have that flexibility, so the fact that the ice is an important part of this story is good enough for me to count it as an elemental story. In this series, we're following our main character who has grown up on the ice, and the ice has a lot of mysteries to it. When you come of a certain age, they do a test on you to decide if you are broken or not. And if you are deemed broken, you are pushed into the pit of the missing, and that's it. When Yaz and her brother go for testing, her brother is deemed broken, and she decides to jump in after him. Underneath the ice, there's a lot more. than what we thought, and she has to learn a lot of new things down there. She has to learn that maybe what she's been told growing up is not exactly what it seems, and a lot of other fun mysteries under the ice. This is set in the same world as the Book of the Ancestor series, but they are standalone series. You do not have to read one to read the other. I'm so excited to read this with everybody, so I'm happy that I did get it on this TBR. That's the end of the TBR. I have these 4 books as well as whatever Maria picks. We can throw that on. But I also have 5 other SPFBO books that I need to read in December, so wish me a lot of luck. I read anywhere from like 6 to 20 books in a month, so it is definitely doable for me. It just depends what my priorities are, and I will definitely be prioritizing reading when I can throughout this month. And I'm excited. I will be doing 2 SPFBO videos, I believe. We'll have a vlog with 5 books and then a vlog with 4 books. I'm not sure which books are going to be in what at this moment in time. I need to do some thinking about that, but you will see those. You'll probably get one middle of December and one late December, maybe early January, just depending on when I can get my reading done. I'm really excited that Mark Lawrence asked me to be a judge this year. I'm so excited to see how our scoreboard is set up, who ends up winning. I'm excited to see where my book places. I'm predicting like 6th spot, just from what I know about all the judges. Middle of the pack vibes. If you have made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a horse emoji for our cyborg horse. And then if you'd like to connect with me on other platforms, my Bookstagram, my Book Twitter, my Goodreads, and my Patreon, all linked in the description bar below. Have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.